and welcome to Hell's Nicholas D. Caboot. Today we are back in Eryri, Snowdonia in Wales, and today we're having a walk from Llyn Crafnant up to Crimpiau, which is where we are now, and then back over to Llyn Geirionydd via an old lead mill. It's about 7 miles, gorgeous day, so let's go.
The free car park at the end of Llyn Crafnant is the start of a number of marked walking trails to explore this reservoir, which was once the water supply for nearby Llanrwst. The water is still really clean today and is a popular fishing spot, with well stocked with trout. From the monument and small dam, the left shore takes the road and the right shore is a gravel track along Llyn Crafnant. We started off on the gravel track, enjoying the shade from the trees. Reaching the end of the lake and coming out into the open, we crossed the land formed as sediment washed down from the hills and settled, reducing the length of the lake. Gwydir Forest meets the Carneddau Hills here, and high point of the day, Crimpiau, appears in front of us. The track turns into a rough but easy to follow path, which winds up the hillside. When you need to stop and catch your breath, there are some stunning views back across Llyn Crafnant and surrounding hills. At 475 metres, Crimpiau is one of the small peaks on the edge of Carneddau range in Eryri. Its distinctive knobbly shape is thanks to glacial erosion of the volcanic rock, which includes dolerite and rhyolite tuffs. For such a small hill, the scenery packs an incredible punch with magnificent views to the area's iconic peaks, including Trefnian, Gladeri, Eryri and Llyn. In the opposite direction, the view looks back along the route along Llyn Crafnant and the surrounding forest.
Heading down from Crimpiau, the tiny rough path crosses through Clogwyn Manor, an abandoned quarry and now renowned climbing site. Then it's time to head back up from the road as the walk between the lakes goes over a bulk alongside Mynydd Llyn, or the Mountain of the Two Lakes. Forestry work is ongoing to remove diseased larch trees from the slopes of the hill. From here, you could extend your walk to the summit, but today it was warm work and we carried on down to Llyn Geirionydd. The second of today's lakes, Llyn Geirionydd, is a popular picnic and water sports spot in complete contrast with its industrial history. As well as swimming, paddleboarding and canoeing, water skiing and powerboats are allowed by permit. Above lie quarries and mine shafts, with the lake providing hydropower, car park built on the spoil heap of Pandora lead mine, and the road built on the tramway to Klondyke Mill, which we'll visit next. At the north end is a monument to 6th century Welsh bard Taliesin, who is rumoured to have lived here. Following the Llyn Geirionydd down the hill, the ruins of Klondyke Mill lie nestled in the trees. Built in 1900 as Geirionydd Mill, it was designed to process ore from nearby Pandora lead mine and utilised hydropower from the lake above. The mine and mill were never profitable and changed hands several times in their short lives, closing after just 11 years in operation. The name Klondyke stems from a scam in the 1920s which tried to seek investment from alleged silver mining. Most local quarries and mines are slate, and Klondyke is one of the largest standing lead mills in North Wales.